Hi everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. Hope you're having a lovely weekend. We're in the midst of this international fortnight, and I don't like it. I'll be honest, I don't like it. But it's nice for the players to have a rest who haven't obviously been called up. But what it got me thinking, we did something similar on my old channel actually, and people were asking about it on our lunchtime show. So I thought we'll have another go, and I'll do sort of a revised version. We've had lots of international players at West Ham, but, you know, I thought we had loads of England internationals who have been playing for England whilst playing for West Ham, but we haven't. So I did a bit of research, had a look, and I found out that it wasn't as many as I thought it was going to be. In fact, it was only 43 players. 43 players have played for England whilst playing for West Ham, which equates to 454 caps. Now, considering one player is 108 caps, that doesn't make good watching, really, does it? To be perfectly honest. 454 caps and 108 of them being one person. Another one made 49 appearances. Another made 47 appearances, and another person 33 appearances. Then the rest are probably no more than like 20 appearances. Maybe Declan Rice at the moment with 27 caps is the next after that. Jesus. And also, I did a bit more research. It turned out, in 1966, I don't know if anyone else has picked up on this. 1966, we won the World Cup. England won the World Cup, and we had 3 West Ham players in the squad: the captain and the 2 goal scorers in the final. Who would have thunk it? Amazing! Like, we've never heard of that story. So, what I always do is go through it and chart everyone who's played for West Ham and England at the same time simultaneously. As I said, there's only 43 of them, so it's not as much as you think, considering been going around since the early 1900s, for example. So let's start, shall we? Let's start. So, as I said, 43 players, 454 caps in total. Obviously, that may change if Mr. Rice makes an appearance tonight. Is it tonight England are playing? Well, I think they're playing, yes. Is it Switzerland tonight and Ivory Coast next week or something like that? So, it could go up to 45, maybe 55, maybe 56 caps. Who knows? Hopefully not at the moment, because I'd rather he just take it easy. So it starts our England journey, our West Ham England journey, our dual journey starts in 1911 with this man, George Webb. George Webb was our first England international whilst being a full senior international, whilst being a hammer. And he actually had 2 caps, and the first one being in both of them, I believe, in 1911. Then we had a bit of a 10-year gap until Mr. Vic Watson, the greatest goal scorer ever to played for West Ham in terms of his goals. He made 5 appearances for England whilst being at West Ham across a 7-year period. That's quite impressive. So he started off his England career in 1923, and his last cap was in 1930, I believe, with West Ham and England combined. Then, also 1923, good year for England and West Ham. Jack Tresden, he had 2 caps in 1923. Also, Billy Moore, not Bobby, Billy Moore had a single cap for England in 1923 as well. Also 1923, Ted Houghton. He had 6 caps across a 6-year England and West Ham career. So starting in 1923, I think his last cap was in 1929, so almost, not too bad. And then we had also 1923, we've had Billy. 1923, we had another Bill Brown, who had a solitary cap in 1923. Now, that haircut, I'd see that down Hornchurch. Do you know what I mean? It's mental, isn't it? That was 1923, and he looks like he's just walked out of Faces, or a 195, or whatever, or the Rising Sun in Hornchurch. Absolutely crazy, isn't it? Also, then it went to 1926 for 6 caps for Jimmy Ruffle. Jimmy Ruffle had 6 caps across a 3-year England/West Ham career. Obviously, West Ham for many more years, but in terms of playing for England and West Ham simultaneously. Stan Earl in 1927 had a single cap for England. We've got Jim Barrett. Now, you want this guy, look at him. I wouldn't want him to see him down Old Church High Street on a Friday night. Look at the size of this man. He had a single cap in 1928. Then we had Len he looks at character. Len Goulden, 14 caps in 2 years, 37 to 39. Then we had Jackie Morton. He had a single cap in 1937. Then we had obviously the war and whatnot, and the gap until 1959. And Ken Brown, no, we're going the wrong way. There we go. Ken Brown, a single cap for England, and that was in 1959. Then this gentleman you may have heard of, Bobby Moore. He had 108 caps for his time at West Ham in England, starting in 1962 and going all the way to 1973. Johnny Byrne, 10 caps between 63 and 65. Sir Geoff Hurst, 49 caps. First one in 1966, and the last one being in 1972. Martin Peters, of course, the third of that trilogy. He had 33 caps. His first one again in 1966, and his last one in 1970 for West Ham and England combined. Frank Lampard Sr., 2 caps. First one in 1972, and his last one in 1980. So an 8-year gap between his 2 England caps. Trevor Brooking, 1974 to 1982, 47 caps in total for England whilst playing for West Ham. And then we've got Dev. Dev had 8 caps in between 1980 and 1983. Alvin Martin, 17 caps, 1981 to 1986. Then Sarge had a solitary cap in 1982. Then there's a few years gap till TC. He ended up having 3 caps for England whilst playing for West Ham. He had a few more afterwards, but during his time at West Ham between 86 and 88, he had 3 caps. Obviously, famously not taking the 86 World Cup despite being the top goal scorer, the young goal scorer. I'm sure Nigel will comment if I was wrong there. Then we had a bit of a gap between, obviously, the last would have been 1988 for TC. It wasn't until 1997 we had our next England international. That was Mr. Rio Ferdinand, who ended up making 10 appearances for England whilst playing for West Ham between 1997 and 2000. Then Ian Wright had 2 caps whilst still at West Ham, 1998 for 2 caps. Psycho had 2 caps for England as well, despite being about, late 30s, almost early 40s, really. 2 caps in 1999, part of that sort of Harry Redknapp era. Lots of consistency in terms of appearing in the Premier League top 10. Similarly, this man, Frank Lampard Jr., 2 caps for England during the 1999 and 2001. Clearly hands over his head because he knows his Everton have got to come to London Stadium next Sunday. After Frank Lampard was Joe Cole. Joe Cole had 10 caps between 2001 and 2003. Then it was Mickey Carrick, who had 2 caps in 2001 for West Ham, for England, whilst playing for West Ham. J-Mo, after that, 17 caps between 2001 and 2003. Then we've got Trevor Sinclair, 11 caps between 2001 and 2003, obviously forcing his way into the World Cup squad of 2002. I had a number of injuries, but he came in and played left wing back, if I remember correctly, and was first choice for that World Cup, really. Speaking of left backs, Paul Konchesky. Paul had a solitary cap for England whilst playing for West Ham in 2005. So did Kieran Dyer, who had 1 cap in 2007. Matthew Upson, the last person to wear the number 6 shirt for West Ham. 14 caps between 2008 and 2010. Dean Ashton had obviously a solitary cap for England in 2008, but obviously the next time he joined up the England squad, he was, injured by the smallest player ever to play for England, I believe Sean Wright-Phillips was. Carlton Cole had 7 caps between 2009 and 2010. Rob Green had 11 caps between 2009 and 2012. Mr. Scott Parker, 3 caps in 2011. Super Andy Carroll, 1 cap in 2012. Then we had Stuart Downing, friend of the show, who made a solitary cap in 2014 when Big Fat Sam put him as the top of the diamond, if you remember. He got himself, was it against Scotland? I want to say that was against Scotland, but I'm not too sure off the top of my head. After Stuart Downing, the man with the magic hat, Aaron Cresswell, 3 caps for England between the 2016 and 2017. Joe Hart got 4 caps for England whilst playing for West Ham in 2017. Then we've got Mr. Declan Rice, who's so far, I believe, on 27 caps and counting. Hopefully that'll be a lot more whilst playing for West Ham. And finally, the last person, sort of debutant, so to speak, in terms of playing for West Ham and England at the same time, was Jesse Lingard, who had 5 caps in his loan spell at West Ham in the 2021 season. So in all, that was 43 players across our entire history have played for England whilst playing for West Ham at the same time, equating to, as I said, 454 caps. I hope you enjoyed it. Something a bit different while you're waiting to watch the England game come on. I thought something a bit different. Anyway, as I said, if you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. How many caps do you think Declan Rice will get for us while still being a West Ham player? Have a think. Obviously, you've got the World Cup coming up in Qatar. There'll be games, there'll be preparation games as well for that, as well as the obviously games in the next few days as well. Let me just point you to a few things we've got coming up next week, just so you guys are aware. On Wednesday night, we had the Wednesday just gone, we had Shaka Hislop, which is a really fun episode. Go back and check that out. But also we've got Tony Carr, Mr. West Ham, Mr. Academy rather, on the show on Wednesday. He'll be live, so the idea is it's your show. So any questions you have for Tony, maybe about Deck, maybe about his time, and from all the way from blinking Alan Kirbishley and Paul Brush all the way to Declan Rice, that's sort of his time frame period really. Loads of cool questions. And then on Thursday night we've got an appreciation night, another one. We had Sir Jeff Hurst. We did Sir Jeff Hurst one with Martin and Nigel a couple of weeks ago. We've got Julian Dix. We're going to do a Julian Dix appreciation night. So hope you enjoyed that. So check it all out. If you're new, Andy, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. And until next time, my friends, take care, stay lucky, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.